Good evening, True Blood fans. Tonight was season 5, episode 8. Somebody that I used to know. Oh yeah, some crazy music for you. Anyway, let's get to it because so much happened tonight. Crazy stuff went down. A lot of characters intermixed tonight, which was kind of good to see. So the Sam and Andy story and Luna kind of came together with Jessica and Hoyt's story, which was very good to see. So first of all, the orderly from last week was arrested, and Sam leaves to go help Andy, and Luna starts freaking out because she wants out. She wants to go see the guy who tried to kill her, and then she crazily turns into Sam. And this isn't a good thing because last time someone morphed into people was Sam's brother, and he died in the end. So it's not a good thing to morph into other people. It's not recommended. Um, so anyway, back at the police station, Sam and Andy were questioning the orderly, and Sam wants to question him himself. So he changes into a snake, and just as he gets information about how they're holding Jessica, which I'll get to in a minute, um, Luna Sam breaks into the office and is freaking out, so Sam now has to deal with her. And he goes and takes care of her, and eventually gives her a kiss on the forehead, and she changes back into Luna. But we almost saw Sam on Sam kiss happen there. I was like, no, don't do that. I just think, Sam and Sam, I just didn't think that was too cool. Um, anyway, then she turns back to Luna and she gets sick. So I'm not too sure the lasting effects of her turning into Sam. I know it's not a good thing. Could possibly lead to her death. But anyway, how did Jessica get captured? Basically, last week we heard that Hoyt was going to get a surprise. The Obama crew kidnapped Jessica in Silver and then told Hoyt to kill her. And Hoyt ends up not killing her, but not totally loving her either. She kills one of the guys there, and he runs off just as Andy and Sam show up and rescue Jessica. And the last thing we see of Hoyt is he's walking down the street and he sees a familiar face driving a truck, and the familiar face pulls a gun on him. So I don't know who that might be. But the crazy part was that Luna smelled in the basement that uh, there was the room housed a rather large woman who smokes and eats Cheetos. Now, is that Hoyt's mom? We know she doesn't like two-natured people. So is Maxine Fortenberry part of this? I don't know. Not too sure who this woman might be. All right, let's see. So going back to Fantasia, we there was a little story with Pam and Tara where some high school chick came and annoyed Tara at the bar, and Tara was rude to her, and Pam kind of scolded her in front of Tracy was her name, the high school girl. But secretly, Pam had her stashed in the basement, glamored her, and made her Tara's slave. So that was kind of funky. A little bit of a sidestep there. So, what happened after the V Party ecstasy tripping from last week? Well, they were still a little high coming back to the place, but Eric, he's not into all this. Having Godric spoke to him and told him that he needed to protect Nora. Um, so everybody's like all excited, and Salome has trapped some girl in her bedroom and is telling Bill that he should eat her. Now, Bill flashes back to when in Louisiana he went to visit his own daughter when she was dying in 1910. And she, of course, hadn't seen him in ages, and when she did see him, couldn't believe how young he looked, and it begs him to make her immortal. Now, I don't believe he did, but they didn't really finish that story. It looked like he was pulling away, but did he make her immortal? I don't know. Um, I've read the books and he doesn't, so I don't know. She does exist in the books, but not as a vampire, as a former person. So I don't know if Bill is really in Salome's camp, but he did bite and eat the girl in the end. Meanwhile, Nora and Eric, well, Nora was worshiping the blood of Lilith, and Eric went in to tell her about Godric. And to his horror, Nora said he was a blasphemer and should have been staked because near the end he really wasn't any good. And Eric was so upset. There were tears in his eyes. Like, will he be able to save Nora? I don't know. She's pretty much in Salome's camp right now. Meanwhile, Steve and Russell are kind of getting to know each other. I think that's his new Talbot there, thinking about going to Hong Kong. So in the end, Salome has this big meeting, and she says we should go out. Well, no. One of the other vampires says we should create gangs to go out and stake all the mainstreamers. And then Bill says, no, how about we bomb the True Blood factories and it'll force the mainstreamers to have to feed off humans. Interesting. And Eric's like, what are you doing? So I don't know. I'm like hoping that Bill is not on that side. I don't think he is, but you never know. Okay. Back to the fairy storyline, which is my favorite storyline of this season. Um, so last time we saw Sookie, she was trying to blast all the fairy out of herself, and Jason finds her, gets blasted by accident, but that's okay. And he talks her into stopping doing that because her powers could help them find the vampire that killed Sookie's parents. And he also mentions a little bit how she loved Bill. That was interesting. Um, he said, just stop spraying your fairiness all over the yard. So they go to see Claude and the Claudettes, all the sisters named Claude. And he says, well, we could go to the bridge that your parents were killed at and harness the power of your mom's spirit, or the power that resides in nature, to see if you can embody your mom and see who it was. So Sookie starts off as her mom, but ends up embodying the vampire. And before she gets zapped out, Claudine shows up and zaps the vampire. But she says, Warlow, stop it. Now, I've never heard the name Warlow in any of the books I've read or anything going on. But apparently he's now haunting Sookie because it's not normal for fairies to bond with vampires in that kind of way where their spirits kind of combine. So does this mean trouble for Sookie? Is she going to be followed by this crazy Warlow? And looks like her parents really were killed by vampires, not fairies as they were in the books, which kind of ticks me off a little bit, but, you know, as a book believer, I kind of like it when they follow the books more, but, you know, whatever, wherever this leads, interesting. Okay, I already talked about Fantasia. Okay, let's talk about the last story. No, there was two more storylines. Okay, so Alcide, we see him in his nude scene with another lady, his trainer, and he asks her if she wants to be his girlfriend, and she says maybe. I don't know what's up with her. She's really with Alcide, or I'm not too sure. So Alcide shows up for the Packmaster fight, which in the books means they have to kill each other, but in this, JD says, okay, I got this track star, and I'm going to let him loose, and we're going to hunt him down, and the first one to kill him wins. Well, yay, there's a lot of human killing going on. But Alcide was like, no, no way, I'm backing out. If this is the challenge, this is stupid. But then JD says, I'm going to do it anyway. So he goes and runs after the track star, and Alcide chases him, catches JD, and track star guy gets away, thank goodness. But JD was pretty close to killing Alcide with a big rock when Martha shows up and stands up for Alcide and tells JD this is not the way, that murdering would make the whole pack bad. Well, yeah, it says to go around murdering random people. Vampires have already done enough of that this season. So I don't know what's going to happen. If they're still following JD, they're not very smart because he's clearly hopped up on V. He's willing to murder people. That's not the werewolf way. I don't understand what's going on there. So, last story. I'm losing my voice for some reason. Last story of the night, Lafayette's driving home from the scary man's house where his lips were sewn together, and he finds Jesus' first aid kit in the car and patches himself up with some spare V that happened to be lying in the first aid kit. Jesus shows up in the car and they hold hands for a bit. Whether he's real or not doesn't matter. But Arlene and Holly are there to ask Lafayette, as a friend of mine predicted on his video chat, that the Lafayette storyline would bond with the Laffrite storyline, and very, very rightly so, it did tonight. Arlene and Holly begged Lafayette to use his mediumness to help convince Terry and Patrick that the Laffrite is not following them and that it's not real, or if it is real, to call it off. Lafayette demanded $300. He said he wasn't doing this stuff for free no more. Then Terry and Patrick come to the seance. They don't really know it's going to be a seance. And for part of the way, Lafayette is faking the seance pretty good. But then, as always happens, the spirit did enter the room and decided to suck itself into Lafayette's body. We've seen this happen before. With Marnie last year when that crazy spirit went into her body. So anyway, Lafayette had said that she does forgive them, but then when the real spirit actually showed up, he was like, she is mad, she's not calling off the curse, and she doesn't like you guys. And then she entered his body and said a few mean things, but then Lafayette said afterwards, well, this is what she wants. She'll call off the curse if Patrick kills Terry or Terry kills Patrick. So one of them has to die, which sent Patrick running from the room. Yeah. I don't know how that story is going to go down, but there's got to be some witchcrafty way to get rid of the Laffrite spirit, just like calling it forward. So maybe Holly will be able to help. But I thought tonight was really fun and interesting. I liked how some of the storylines finally merged. Yes, because there can't be many left. I think there's 12 or 13 in the season, and it's number 8 already. So hopefully Eric will get some more people on his side and defeat Salome before this mainstreaming massacre gets underway. And is this Warlow guy for real? Who is Warlow? I think she's going to end up talking to Bill. Or have I mixed it up? In the books, Bill creates a vampire registry where he has all the vampires listed. And so I haven't remembered if in True Blood he has that registry or not. But if he does, then Warlow will be explained quite easily. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next Sunday.